Want to start off by saying congratulations to everyone who played the lineup tonight. Um, Definitely want to start off by showing some appreciation to members of the crew. Joe Lease, I gave out three lineups and all hit in all formats tonight. He said he won on both lineups that he played. Want to shout out Tim Hess. He said he turned $32 into $135 using a lineup. So love my little community that I've formed since I've been simplifying these DFS games, and I'm just looking to continue the success. We've been having a rough road recently, but I think we're over the hump, and tomorrow we're gonna make it two in a row. So without further ado, I'm gonna get right into the slate. For those new to my videos, I follow a system where I aim for 6 times value in my players. If I get near 6 times value, that's about 300 points, which will always get you in the green no matter what tournament you enter, any double double, any 50-50. All right. So I look for players that's capable of getting me 6 times value, players who have done it consistently. Just to give you an example, if we take someone like LeBron James, he's 10K. I'm looking for 60. And he had 60 once, but he's not really consistent getting 60. He's 51, 65, 31, 54. So LeBron would be a kind of risky play for tomorrow. Um, then if you take someone like Gobert for 8K, we'll need mid 60s. Um, he's another one. He's been a little bit inconsistent. Vucevic would need about mid 40s. And he's 50, 50, 48, 48, 46. So he's someone who consistently get me 6 times value. He's someone that I would consider in my lineup. And just gonna get right into the slate. On the Knicks versus Pistons, on the New York Knicks side of the ball, Carmelo Anthony and Lance Thomas remains questionable, and everyone's healthy for Detroit. We start with the Knicks. Derrick Rose will need mid 30s to make me happy. In 3 games playing 30 minutes against this team, he's only averaging 24 points. Um, he did get to mid 30s against the Spurs, but the games before that, 20s and 20s, low 30s. So he's not really too consistent. Um, Courtney Lee needs about 30, upper 20s, 30. Without Carmelo Anthony, he seems to do pretty well. We just don't know if Carmelo is going to play. And for injury news, I'm going to do a pre-lock updated lineup as well. Courtney Lee, he gets you 31, 24, 19, so no consistency. Justin Holiday off the bench needs about 20, and he hasn't been getting us there. 217 is not what we want. Carmelo, if he does play, needs mid 30s to 40s. And even when he plays, he hasn't been getting us there. 24, 23. And let's see what's going on with him. So he has some soreness in his left knee, which has been causing him to miss game. And Kuz has been starting for him. If Kuz got another start tomorrow, definitely consider him. Kuz will need mid 20s, and for the 2 games that he started for Carmelo, he's been mid 20s and higher. Against this team, he played 7 minutes and gave us 4 fantasy points. That's not 7 minutes is nothing really to look at. But if Carmelo does not play, I think I like Kuz tomorrow. But because we're uncertain, I'm gonna stay away for now. Porzingis needs about low 40s, low to mid 40s. He hasn't really been cracking the 40 mark. And in 3 games, playing 35 minutes against this team, he's averaging 42. Just that he really hasn't been cracking 40 recently. So I'm going to use caution with Porzingis. We know that he gets into foul trouble very easily. So he can be a risk just because of that. And then Hernan Gomez needs about 30. He just went off against San Antonio. But the 2 games before that, he's about 27 and 26. So he seems to pretty much have a 5 times value floor, but he hasn't consistently been over 30. I'm going to use caution. Kylo Quinn needs about 20, low 20s. In the two games that Melo's been out, 21 and 20, and in 14 minutes, he's averaging 17 fantasy points. So if Melo misses tomorrow, Kuz and O'Quinn are two players that I definitely become interested in, especially if Melo and Lance Thomas misses. Let's see what's going on with Lance. So he has an hip issue that he's nursing as well. The Detroit Pistons, we don't know what's going on with their backcourt. Ish Smith or Reggie Jackson, either one can start. We don't know which one will start. For that reason, I'm going to stay away. Caldwell Pope needs about 30. He hasn't been in the 30s. He can be a little up and down. Um, Marcus Morris needs about 30. He can be up and down, 11 and 18. Um, John Law needs about 24. He's been pretty consistent for that price, 30, 22, 13, and 23 in the last four. And then against New York, playing 24 minutes, he's getting 23 fantasy points. So we can say that he's good for a point per minute. And he's been fairly consistent. Um, I'll pull him over and consider him for the time being. Drummond needs mid to upper 40s. In three games, playing 31 minutes, he's only averaging 37.8, and he's been in the 20s and low 30s. The whole Pistons team been going through a little run, and I don't know if I can get to them tomorrow. Coming down towards the end of the season, I've been trying to not only stick within my system, but stick with players that matters. Either that matters or we know are gonna get significant amount of minutes. So that's something else I've been taking into consideration. Moving on to Orlando versus Toronto, it looks like Damari Carroll is questionable. We can start with the Toronto side and see what's going on with him. Sore lower back. Sounds like they're just trying to rest him on a back-to-back to me. But even if he plays or doesn't, I'm not really interested in him. As far as point guard, Corey Joseph needs just a little under 30. And yeah, he's been in the low 20s and the teens. I'm really not interested. His backup Delon Wright would need 18. And he's been consistently over 18 the last three. He's getting minutes in the mid 20s. I like that a lot. And Chicago, he only played 5 minutes for whatever reason. But other than that game, 20, 29, and 18, that definitely fits my 6 times value that I'm looking for. And then in Detroit, he only played 6 minutes. But then before that, 17, 25, and 26. So he's someone that I've been liking for a while. He's still minimal priced. Um, and just to look at the structure of this team. So point guard is Corey Joseph and Delon Wright backs him up. Fred Van Vliet has pretty much been out the rotation. Then the two guard, it's been DeMar DeRozan and normal Norman Powell backing him up. But Norman Powell hasn't been getting a lot of minutes. His minutes been in the teens. They've been running Delon Wright as the point guard and two guard as well. So there's a lot of minutes opening up for him. And if Carroll misses, PJ Tucker and Normal Powell kind of runs the three spot, opening up again minutes for Delon Wright. And then Serge Ibaka and Patterson is the four. And then we know this Portal guy has been getting a lot of run as well lately. So him and Valanciunas is holding on the fifth spot. So definitely like Delon Wright. I think the minutes will be there for him. And for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and pull him over for tomorrow game. As far as DeRozan, he needs about mid 40s. I would say 50, just about 50 to make us happy. In two games, averaging 33 minutes, he's putting up 41 points. And he can be up and down. He's a little risky. If we get him on the right night, we can hit. But he can go from 33 to 53, 68 to 30. So he's up and down. He's a big risk. I'll exercise some caution. PJ Tucker, been getting some extra run. He needs about mid 20s. And he's been mid 20s, 3, 4, 5 games. He's been pretty consistent, and his stock is trending upwards. In 26 minutes against his team, he's played 22.3 minutes. So I'm definitely interested in some PJ Tucker in a good matchup tomorrow. I think the minutes will be there for him as well. If you're into game narratives, you might be looking at Serge Ibaka playing Orlando for the first time since they've traded him. He needs 36, mid 30s, and he hasn't really cracked mid 30s. So I'm not going to follow the narrative. I'm just going to move on. Um, and then Valanciunas needs about upper 20s. Sometimes he'll crack some 30s, but for the most part, he's been in the lower 20s. So I'm gonna use some caution as for Valanciunas. Moving on to Cleveland versus San Antonio. DeJounte Murray and Shumpert are on the injury report. Let's look at the San Antonio side of things. DeJounte Murray is going to be out for 2 to 3 weeks. So Tony Parker will need mid 20s against this team. It is a good matchup for him. Um, he gets you 19, 26, 13, 29. Definitely two up and down for my liking. Patty Mills needs mid 20s as well. 21, 27, 15, 28. He's also a little bit up and down. Um, he played 30 minutes in the last game. Tony Parker sat out that game. He put up 26. If Parker was going to be ruled out, I'll pick on some Patty Mills. But with them both playing, I'm not really too interested. Ginobili would need about 20, low 20s, 17, 17, and 23. So I'm looking for some upside as well. I don't think Ginobili can get me what I need for tomorrow. Same could be said for Danny Green, 6, 23, and 15. Moving on. Kawhi Leonard would need mid 50s to make us happy. Now, in 45 minutes, he's played 58.5. And because this will be a home game against the Cavs, and they haven't played, they're rested. They're fighting with Golden State for number one. Cleveland is fighting for number one. Um, Kawhi pretty much plays up to the competition, all right? He seems to do well when he plays good teams, and he seems to do well when he's much needed on defense. I like Kawhi in this one. He doesn't fit my system really, but it's hard for me to ignore Kawhi in a marquee matchup that I believe is going to be on TV as well. Let's check it out. So, yeah, that game is going to be on TNT. So, I'm going to consider Kawhi for now. If I get a perfect lineup that fits perfectly in my system, then I'll kind of look off of Kawhi and stick within the system. But it's just a gut feeling, man. I love Kawhi tomorrow. I love it. Aldridge needs low 40s, 38, 41, 42, 33, 39 are his recent totals. In 41 minutes, he's put up 45 points against this team. I'm going to look at that matchup. I want to see if Kevin Love played that game. Because if Love and Thompson play that game, then I'm going to be interested in LaMarcus Aldridge for tomorrow. He's another one that I think would, and him and Kawhi has been the go-to for his team recently as far as scoring. So Kevin Love did play that game. So did LeBron and Kyrie. So I think I'm interested in some Kawhi, and he's been in the 40s quite a bit. I can pull him over for some consideration as well. I'm gonna get rid of Lure and put Aldridge in that power forward spot. David Lee is off the bench. Not really interested. He needs mid 20s. He hasn't really been there. Paul Gasol needs 30. He just went off against the Knicks, but then 17, 23, and then 37. So he can be up and down. Not too confident in Paul Gasol. On the Cleveland side of the ball, Kyrie Irving just had a bad game, but this is a great matchup for him. Um, his floor is pretty much 5 times value, and he's been consistent in the mid to 50s, mid 40s to 50s. I like Kyrie Irving in a good matchup in a game that matters. I'm gonna put Kyrie as the point guard, and then Delon Wright as the two guard here. Definitely love the value that Delon Wright has to offer tomorrow. And I wouldn't mind stacking this nationally televised game. We know that these players, like the other day, I was hesitant of playing DeRozan because of the matchup, but he was on. I think they were playing the Bulls, if I'm not mistaken. But he was on national TV, and he went off for 68 points. So when these guys get on TV, man, you gotta target them. And for this game to have so many people with potential on TV, I'm definitely interested in stacking this Cleveland San Antonio game. Moving on. J.R. Smith disappointed me. I had him another day. He didn't do much for me. On the road, I'm not really interested. Kyle Korver, hit or miss. If his shots are falling, we know that he'll do well. In 2 games this season, averaging 30 minutes, he's knocking down 22 fantasy points. If we can get 22 out of him tomorrow, that'd be great. It's just that he hasn't been over 15 in the past 4 games, so I'm a little worried about Kyle Korver tomorrow. LeBron needs 60. Going up against Kawhi defense, I think he'll do well. I think he'll try to take over the game, but he's going to run into a wall. Between Kawhi Leonard and then LaMarcus Aldridge and then Deadman down front, I don't see LeBron hitting 6 times value. I'm going to use caution with him. And I didn't look at Deadman. He's been getting a lot of starts recently, man. And, he's good for about a point per minute. 20 minutes, 20 points. 12 minutes, 9 points. We just don't know how many minutes he's going to get. So if they start him, I'll consider him. If not, I'll move on. But for now, just because of the uncertainties, I'm going to move on. Oklahoma versus Dallas. Everyone's healthy. We can start on the Oklahoma side. Russell Westbrook. So I know he had a triple double today. To hit 6 times value for that price, he's gonna need about 75 points today, and he's coming off of a back to back, so I don't love him, right? And then today he had just about 75. He had exactly 75 today, but 58, 37, 61, 68, even with triple doubles. And last time he played this team, he only had 57. And we know that Wesley Matthews kind of got his thing. Last game I was watching against him in Dallas, Wesley Matthews shut him down, and they pretty much know how to contain him. So I'm going to use caution with Westbrook for that price tomorrow, especially paying up at other places. His backup is irrelevant. Norris Cole is not worth. I think Kristen gets more minutes than Norris Cole actually. Oladipo needs mid 30s. Again, this is a tough defense they're going up against. I don't know if I like anyone on Oklahoma today. Roberson needs about 24. He can get you 29, 20. So, not interested in that. And then Taj Gibson needs about 24, 12, 17, and 8. He's not someone to consider. Steven Adams needs about 30. He's been in the teens and single digits recently. Cantor needs about 30. Um, Coming off the bench, I'm just not interested in Cantor tomorrow. Um, Today he did struggle as well. Coming off of a back to back, I'm just not interested in too many OKC players. On the Dallas side of the ball, Seth Curry's been getting a start. He needs about 30. He can go from 18 to 32 to 21. He's too all over the place. Barea needs mid 20s. 14, 10, and 15. We don't want any of that. Yogi Fell is barely getting minutes. He needs about mid 20s as well. As a matter of fact, well, these been blowouts. So in some blowouts, he's getting run. But I know that he's working his way out the rotation. In 25 minutes against this team, he's only put up 13 points. So I'm not interested in any of those guys. Wes Matthew needs about 30. He hasn't been able to hit the 30 mark, so I'm not interested in him. Barea, we went over. Devin Harris needs about 18. And he's interesting because in 18 minutes, 2 games averaging 18 minutes, he's putting up 20 fantasy points. His last 3 are 15, 22, 13, 17, 11, 15. So he can be up and down. I don't think there's a lot of upside. I don't see any reason to force Devin Harris into your lineup. But he's something that if I'm looking for some value after the lineup has been built, I would consider him. But I don't think I can get to Devin Harris. Harrison Barnes needs mid 30s. He just went off for 40, but before that, 27, 15, and 29. A little risky. Dirk needs mid 30s. 15, 28, 29 has been Dirk's totals. Not interested. All right. And then Noel seems to be getting the starts. And he went off for 35 against the Clippers, but against Toronto, only 14. In 16 minutes against his team, he's given us 17. I wouldn't really try to force no Nerlens Noel tomorrow either. That's it for that game. Memphis versus Kings. Aflalo and Lawson and Kufos were out today. Marc Gasol was also out today. Not sure of their status for tomorrow. We can start on the Memphis side. Conley hit 40 today, but he's been up and down 32, 28, 42. He needs mid 40s to make me happy. In 3 games against his team, 30 minutes, only 35.3. Conley's not someone, although he did win us money today, he's just not someone I'm really super confident about. I'm going to use caution with Conley. Um, Tony Allen needs mid 20s. In 3 games, averaging 28 minutes. He's putting up 26 fantasy points. And then his game logs 22, 21, 23, 22, 21. So he's consistent as for the most part. I know today he did well. Tony Allen definitely hit value today. I just want to see how he does with back. So on the 15th and 16th, he went from 22 to 23. So I think his floor is pretty safe. And this is a team that really doesn't play too much defense. Definitely consider some Tony Allen. Take Devin Harris out. I don't know how he even got there. Throw some Tony Allen. That's worth a look for sure. Moving forward, Ennis had a decent game today, but I don't know how 13, 12. He's really not consistent. Not someone I want to look at. Zach Randolph started today and did well. In 3 games, averaging 25 minutes. He's putting up 30 fantasy points. Just that he can get you 19 or 15. He's up and down, and you don't want Zach Randolph at the end of the night to be the reason you lost money. He can be the reason you win, but if you lose money because of that, you'll be disappointed. All right. Gasol is dealing with a foot sprain. Again, it sounds like they rested him on a back to back and needed a reason to. But in any event, he needs 40s to make us happy. He's been in the 30s and 20s, so I'm gonna use caution and stay away. On the Sacramento side, now this is a team that's playing for absolutely nothing, and I wouldn't consider anyone on this team. This is a team that plays at 10:30. Lock is at 7:30. At 9 o'clock, you're gonna get news that whoever you picked is not playing, like Ty Lawson today. So I'm not interested with anyone on this team at all. I'm not even gonna waste time even going through it because even if they all were playing, it's just a team that's tanked out, trying different things. I'm really not going there. I'm not interested in anyone on this team. Scal is up to 5K now. And I get it. He's been in the 30s, but just not interested, man. I'm not wasting my time on that. Utah versus New Orleans. New Orleans played today without Cousins, and like I expected, Anthony Davis had a very good game. It's just that he's going up against a different type of beast in Utah. And George Hill needs about mid 30s, and he can get you 10, 30, 31, 38. He's too all over the place. Very hard to predict. I'm going to use caution. Um, Ingles needs about mid 20s. He's been in the low teens. Rodney Hood needs mid 20s. He's been in the low teens. Joe Johnson needs mid 20s. He's been 25, 20, 12, 20. So, not really too interested in Joe Johnson. Gordon Hayward. We know that he just had a whatever they call it, MRI or whatever that came back negative, and he's a little banged up. They're definitely in the playoffs, and I don't think they're fighting for too much seeding either. I think let's see what their situation is. All right, so they could be look. Oh, so they're fighting for first round home court against the Clippers, and they're a game ahead. Clippers just lost. So I guess they kind of have something to play for. He needs mid to upper 40s, and he's inconsistent. And with some quadriceps injuries, he's not going to have his legs under him. Playing 23, 36 in the last 2 games. I'm not interested in him anyway. Joe Johnson, we kind of went over. Gobert needs mid to upper 40s. I am very interested in Gobert. In the last 10 games, he's averaging 52 points, okay? Against this team, he already played 2 games, averaging 32 minutes, and he's put up 43.8. The guy's playing, he's pulling down all these rebounds. He's taking more shots now. There was a time when he was taking like 6 to 8 shots, but now he's taking 12 to 13, 14 shots. I love that about him. He'll get you blocks, rebounds, points. And for a big, he really doesn't get into foul trouble often. We know that Boogie can elicit some foul trouble, but he got some ankle stuff going on. So with them not being in the playoff, I don't think they'll rush Boogie back. And even if they do, just love Gobert tomorrow, man. Gobert's been an absolute beast, and he fits the system so perfect. I have to consider Gobert. All right. Um, and that's it on the New Orleans side of the ball. Drew Holiday's been hot. Um, with no, let me see how much he scored today. Drew Holiday today scored. That was against a very good matchup in Denver. This matchup in Utah is going to be a little more stiff on him. So he had 34.5 today. And we need 34 wouldn't kill us, but we need more about 40. 44, 27, 39. And that's without playing much minutes because it was a blowout. So he only played 27 minutes and he did well. Um, Drew Holiday is worth some consideration. He's outside what we have for price, but I'm going to pull him over. I think he has a good shot. He's dependent. If Cousins play, I'm not interested. But if Cousins going to be out again tomorrow, Utah is saying that it's a bad matchup, but we've been seeing teams take it to Utah recently. So I'm not afraid of Utah, to be honest. Um, and then Jordan Crawford, it's a little off the bench, can get you 18 or 12, so he's up and down. Solomon Hill and Etuan Moore, I'm not interested in either one. They both had a little run where they were consistent. Solomon Hill went off like a 50-point game, but then he needs mid 20s, and 21 and 15 will make me upset. Same could be said for Etuan Moore. He needs about 20, low 20s. He's been in the 20s consistent, but then been falling to 10, 16. So I'm not too interested in Etuan Moore as well. Anthony Davis, it's a tough matchup for him, man. He played this team twice, 33 minutes, and only averaged 41 points. And that's without Boogie Cousins. So even if Cousins come back, it's just hard for me to think that he'll do well. Same could be said for Cousins. Just a hard matchup, though. If Cousins play, um, which I doubt, I might like Anthony Davis a little more, but I'm not paying up for either one of those guys tomorrow anyway, so that's a waste, right? So now we got $500 to take care of. Let's see. So we can do people that we kind of like that we could probably try to fit in. Um, Kevin Love needs 40s. I don't want to do that. No Harrison Barnes, Ibaka, Dirk, Tobias. So we just got one spot to fill. Let's see. This shouldn't be too hard, right? For some reason I didn't go over Orlando, right? I don't know. I feel like I skipped Orlando. So Alfred Payton needs That's weird. Alfred Payton needs low to mid 40s. Um, he's up and down, man. He can get you 46 or 27, 37, 38. In 3 games, averaging 30 minutes, he's only put up 27 points against this team. Not interested. Fournier needs about 30. In 2 games, averaging 30 minutes, he's put up 30. And I like Fournier, man. He can also be up and down. In Detroit, it was a blowout, so he only played 23 minutes. Gave us 21 points. Charlotte, he played 30 minutes. Gave us about 30. Philly, 31. Phoenix, 30. So he's been consistent 30. I think his floor is safe. And this is a better matchup for Fournier. I could definitely consider some Fournier if I can. Let's see. 58. Maybe take out Drew for Fournier. Um, Drew has more upside, but Drew has a lower floor as well. Well, not really, because outside of this 27-point game, he's been in the upper 30s and 40s, so that'll be a hard scratch. But just keep Fournier in mind moving forward. Terrence Ross, and he zoned you. He zoned you and we know that Jeff Green already been ruled out. He zoned you with minutes, been doing okay for the minimal price. 19 and 20 whenever he gets minutes in the 20s. Against Golden State, 16 with 20 something minutes, 16 and with 22 minutes. So if he gets minutes in the 20s, he becomes interesting for that minimal price. But Damari Carroll plays defense, so I'm not sure. Aaron Gordon needs 30. I'm not interested in Aaron Gordon. He hasn't been consistent. Vucevic needs mid 40s, and he's been as consistent as they come, man. 38, 50, 50, 48, 28, 48, 41, 46. So I love Vucevic. Even when I think the matchup is tough, he does okay. He had a tough matchup in Detroit. That game turned into a blowout, but in only 26 minutes, he almost gave us value that we were looking for. This game is not going to be a blowout. Well, I can't say it's not, but they haven't been getting blown out. They're blowing teams out, but they haven't been getting blown out. They got blown out by Golden State, and that's been about it. But Toronto can be a little tough down low, but Vucevic, let's see. Tough matchups, right? So Miami, he did okay. They could be tough down low. Atlanta, he did okay. They can be tough down low. So it's hard for me to fade Vucevic, to tell you the honest truth. I'm going to get rid of Drew Holiday, throw Vucevic in, then we're gonna have to do some budget managing. How much was Drew? 67. Wow, it's gonna be 100 over if I take out Kyrie. So yeah, this is what we're looking at right now. And then Kyrie needs upper 40s. I was gonna try to take out Kyrie for Drew and feel comfortable with that because Drew's been playing well, but I'm still $400 short. Love Tucker. I don't want to take Tucker out. Um, Love Tucker. He's been playing well as of late. Delon Wright's too cheap for the value he can bring back. Gobert, Kawhi. Tucker is power forward eligible, right? So let's move around LaMarcus Aldridge because we know that out of everyone, his upside is the most limited. Let's put Kawhi as the 3. I love Kawhi tomorrow, man. I don't know why. I just love Kawhi tomorrow. Tucker. And then for 6,600, we could pretty much pick anyone because we can move Tony Allen between guard and forward. So anyone but a center for the most part. I mean, if Carmelo starts tomorrow, knowing that he needs mid 30s, I would take a shot at him because just the upside alone, knowing that I can afford him without big risk. So I could throw Carmelo. I'm gonna put Carmelo there for now. Hold on, before I put Carmelo there, let's see if it's anyone else that probably make more sense. So Harrison Barnes, 40, 27, 15, 29. So him and Carmelo's in the same boat as far as inconsistency. But I think Carmelo offers a little more upside. Carmelo can get hot and start hitting out some shots back at the Garden with the home crowd. Serge Ibaka in a revenge game again. His numbers are similar to Carmelo's. Carmelo has the upside. Oladipo, same story. Dirk is probably the one that I'm most interested in here. Probably could put Dirk for now. I think I'm more because Dirk has some upside as well. He can get you 15 though, but outside of the 15 point, he's been pretty much around the 30, and he can show some 40 upside against this team. He already went off for 40, playing 30 minutes. And that's with no blocks or steals. He just scored 18 points and grabbed a bunch of rebounds. And I think he can have a similar game against them. He's getting 30 minutes a game. Um, he's starting at the power forward. I just want to look at the last game that they played and see Mavs versus Thunder. Because I don't think Noel was there yet, and March 5th. So Noel definitely was there. If he's playing power forward with Taj Gibson on him, I might be interested in him because although Taj plays defense, Dirk is not really a post player at this point. He's a pop and shoot kind of guy, and he has a height advantage on Taj. So Taj played and Dirk played. Perfect. But Dirk played center in this game. Maybe that's why he got those extra rebounds. And he went 8 for 17. So I could throw Dirk in for now. I'm gonna throw Dirk in just for now, and then as the injury news unfolds tomorrow, we could probably move some stuff around. But I don't love Drew Holiday here. I know Drew's been hot. Yeah, I don't love Drew. I'm gonna take out Drew. Put back Kyrie Irving. Love Kyrie Irving. And then for 5,400, whatever happened to that guy on that I said I liked off of Fournier. Perfect. There we go. So some Fournier in there and then some Tony Allen. And this is it. This looks good, man. I love this lineup. This is it. I think I'm gonna have I think you should play this one with confidence, man. I got a lot of people that's home and good matchups. Love this lineup. Kyrie Irving, Delon Wright, Kawhi Leonard, PJ Tucker, Rudy Gobert, Evan Fournier, Tony Allen, and Nikola Vucevic. So I'm gonna go ahead and submit this. I'll do a pre-lock hour to 45 minutes before lock live stream. All right. Talk to you guys tomorrow.